Alright everyone, it's time for another garden update. We have a hedge of chamomile that's just starting to blossom, as you can see. This is about a foot deep down in there. It's like a jungle of chamomile. I'm actually slightly worried it might cause rot in there, but they're antimicrobial, so hopefully not. Turnips are growing well. Some of them are extremely large. You can look at this plant. Yeah, it's not that old a turnip or anything like that. The cabbage behind it needs to be thinned, obviously, but I'm waiting a few more days. The beets are growing well. I just flooded some areas of the garden with an extremely potent mix, including nettle water. And everything just got watered with just regular fresh water from the hose only a few minutes ago, so it's pretty perky. These beets are growing really well. The one Brussels sprout that did end up coming up will probably produce, which is nice. There's some Nicotiana in there, so those will be nice too. The Swiss chard is still trying to steal the show here. Now it's competing with the turnips, I suppose. All of this back here is growing really well. The marigolds have second and third flowers. The chamomile is doing well, getting ready to blossom. Already had some chamomile tea, and by the way, garden fresh Roman chamomile is way stronger than the stuff you're going to get in a store, just so that you know. You know, for driving impairment purposes, I suppose. All of the plants in here are doing well, especially those zucchini over there and the peppers. The onions, which just got set in a few days ago, they're starting to green up, puff out. They're going to put out new growth fairly soon. The cucumbers here may look a little bit small, but they are starting to vine. And basically what happens is once they start doing that, they just shoot right up. And so there's not a problem. Look at this sunflower. This was a little tiny thing, you know, only a couple of weeks ago. Now it's a foot tall and starting to stem. Wouldn't be surprised if it's 8 feet tall when all is said and done. And all of the irises in here are blooming other than the little ones. The lilies take a little bit longer there, those two plants. Fennel dill's doing well. That's mainly for pickling though. That's not really for any other purpose. The collards in here are doing great also. They're really happy, I think, with this location. This one's tipped over, but it'll spring right up. So there'll be about a dozen collard plants, and I'm going to keep a few chamomile and some other odds and ends, a few mustard plants in there, and they should do fine. The carrots, you know, suffered from slightly low germination, but the ones that came up, they're doing really well. They've probably got 2-inch roots on them at this point. The tomatoes, these tomatoes are fine. Those tomatoes are okay. The black princes are a little bit anemic. I'm not sure. They may or may not produce anything. They got flowers on them, but they look like they're underdeveloped in every other way. I got a weed around the chives. As you can see, there's a lot of sweet and sours. There's a lot of violets in here. I got to take care of that. The chamomile patch over here is doing well. It's starting to branch out and green up a little bit further. It'll be fine. Little zucchini there, which may get crowded out by the hostas, in all honesty. You can see all the milkweed out here. That's for the monarch butterflies. That's going to get sort of staked off and not mowed over, all of these different plants. So those will provide a little home for the monarchs. Yeah, as you can see, at long last, the gas plant, the Dictamnus alba false dittany, is blooming. Finally, never bloomed before. It's a nice little plant now. And all of the poppies out here, you know, because they've been properly, you know, thinned out, they've all got a lot of pods on them. These are corn poppies. They're not like opium poppies or any shit like that, so don't get the wrong impression. And don't want anything like that. The opiate crisis is a big problem. All the beans back here doing well for the most part. The pumpkin, actually, despite not being planted, you know, until recently, is doing well. The lilies all took, along with the bellflower. This is a sweet marjoram in here, which I've never actually grown before. We'll see how it does. And a nice lavender plant here. And I'm thinking, because of all the target shooting that we're doing, I may remove that bed and keep this open and actually reinforce the target. Make it wider. Bring the fence out a little bit that way, sort of close that off. It'd be, I think, a little bit safer. All the perennials doing well. The sedum, more lilies, more irises as well in there. Whatever the hell these bushy things are. I used to think they were phlox. I might have been wrong. And then there's cucumbers in here, 5 of them. They need to be weeded around a little bit, but they are doing well. That'll definitely produce some cucumbers. So yeah, the garden's growing really well at the moment. You can see the remnants of the nettle water here that I took out. Actually, it got to the point I had to make a new batch because unfortunately the old nettle water started smelling so badly. I think it was starting to rot or something. I know it's supposed to turn black and get kind of fetid, But I don't think it's supposed to be that fetid, because if so, I don't want to work with it, number one, in all honesty. Number two, I don't want to give some disease to the plants. But I did use up most of it anyway before dumping it out, you know, what was left. So yeah, lots and lots of good crops here, flowers, a little bit of everything for everyone. That's about all. Peace out.